Hey, everybody. George, I'm making you host. All right, George, you should be host now. Is it working for you?
I'm in. Yeah, says Shoots. Well, I guess. So I'm on here, George Arvanitis, and I see Shutesbury host.
That's the name of the account.
Okay. Okay,
So,
yeah, I'm in control.
Okay.
Somebody
sounds
has to
good.
be.
All right. Have a good meeting, everybody.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.
So
So that was Gabe, I guess?
Yes.
He and you
Okay.
and probably Howard and me too.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
need to reach out to Grace to
here.
find out how to set these to host one of these meetings.
I was on the line with Gabe and she recommends that George and Howard and I meet with Gabe, and so that there's multiple ways for us to get in,
Okay.
get started. But we'll figure out a time to do that.
Well, hopefully before the next meeting.
Yeah, I apologize. She even talked about it at the department head meeting today, and I have a list here to make an appointment for you and Howard and her and myself to get it, to start these meetings. But I've never done this before. Becky and Grace always were very good at keeping us going. And there's been some challenges setting up who can do what.
Well, and having a halftime town administrator probably is not helping.
No.
Even as good as she is, it's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
It's a lot.
If she's doing half the time to do a job we know needs double the time she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question, let's handle it right away. I had it in topics not reasonably anticipated. She's here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is there a good time for you, George?
Next Tuesday works.
Okay, do you have a time of day that you'd like it?
No, whatever works for everybody.
Afternoon.
Gabe,
Afternoon.
yeah, Gabe, I think Gabe comes in the afternoon, actually.
She
Okay.
comes in all day typically, but
On Tuesday?
yeah, but Monday being a holiday, I think afternoon is a better choice so that she can get
Okay.
herself settled. Shall we pick a random time and then I'll only change it if we have to?
How's 3 o'clock?
Okay, 3 p.m. next Tuesday, 1/21/25. Meet with Gabe concerning Zoom. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Are we waiting on David?
Yes, I guess we are. Let me text him now. What did I do with my phone after all of them?
So we need a moderator.
What?
Paul?
Oh, well, George would be perfect.
Yeah, but I'd have to quit my other jobs.
They couldn't. No, I didn't see that. I've been at work all day. What happened? He's okay?
On Monday, on Monday he announced that he's not going to run again.
Oh.
Yeah,
saw
start
it
putting
on
on your
Nextdoor.
thinking cap. You'd be great, April. Yep, that's how I feel. Well, I'm not around a lot. I missed annual town meeting last year. I missed the special town meeting.
Oh, I wonder what Elaine Puleo's up to.
That'd be great. She'd be great.
I think
I have a short list of people I've been thinking of. I talked to Susie about some of them. I don't know.
When is his term up?
June 30.
But
I'm sorry? June.
take
End
Oh,
of fiscal year.
so he'll do the town meeting for this year.
Yes,
Okay,
but
fine.
nomination papers are due probably.
March.
he's done
When
it.
are we going to elect are we going to elect him at town meeting, or are we going to do it some other place? I guess it's at town meeting, right?
Well,
Would it be
it's
town meeting?
the polls are open at town meeting and everybody
right.
votes.
Okay.
But it wouldn't start till July 1.
Right, sure.
He's been great.
It has been. He's perfect.
Should I open the meeting now or should I wait for David?
I've texted him. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just forgot. Hold on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write, we'll wait. There. This one goes back off this pocket.
Well, we can start without him. I mean, we could review the
Yeah,
minutes. We don't
yeah,
need
let's
David
do-
to review the minutes.
Yeah, let's get
Okay,
that done. Makes
He's up
sense.
for, I'll just tell you, there's one item on the agenda, namely budget, that is strictly for him. If we get to budget and he's not here, I don't know what to do with it.
Well, we can talk about that. April and
Yeah.
I and Leslie, we were all
Yeah.
there.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we were there.
He'll be back. He'll be here by then.
Item 10.
Was there anything sent today? Because I have found I cannot access my Shutesbury email from
Yeah,
my.
Nothing yes today, but last night.
Okay, no, I forwarded all that. I've got that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you send last? What?
Last night I sent all the documents.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay,
wondering
fine.
if Any new documents came today, and no. I would
Okay,
like to, but no,
okay,
didn't happen.
okay. So I'm going to open the meeting. Sorry. In attendance are board members George Arvanitis and April Stein, Chairman Howard Spetner, and Assessors Clerk Leslie Bracebridge.
Can't send the invite. I'm gonna go on my phone to figure out a way to get David in while you guys do the minutes.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes from both the December 18th Board of Assessors meeting and the joint meeting that we had with the Finance Committee on January 7th. Has everybody had a chance to review those minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And does anybody have any concerns about those minutes? Okay. I'm going to move that we accept both the minutes of the December 18th and the January 7th meetings.
I'll second.
Okay, I vote aye.
Overnight aye.
And Stein, aye.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is to review and approve the accountant reports. Leslie, I need you for this. So there are 3 accountant reports, okay, and 2 of them pertain to the Gage property that was sold to the town of Amherst. That's on Sand Hill Road. It's the real estate. It's reporting the real estate abatement and the CPA abatement. The third accountant report is for the exemptions, and the exemptions come up later in the meeting. They're under item 8. Leslie, can we just approve the exemptions now? Jump ahead to that because that's okay.
Well, yes, this is the new system that we came up with at the last meeting was for me to create an accountant's report that I should have gotten to you sooner of the ones that we know are fine and good. There's going to be more exemptions.
Mhm.
And then if you folks wanted to see any of the applications after you saw the accountant's report, you would have come to the office and looked at it. If you're all comfortable with what you see on the accountant's report, then I left it on the agenda for article number 8, statutory personal exemptions, because then you can just vote that we approve all of the ones that are on the accountant's report. I think 2 votes is better than 1, but I really don't care. As long as you folks are comfortable with what you see on the accountant's report.
Yeah, I am confident. I'm comfortable. I mean, Leslie, you're getting applications for the means testing. You're getting the information that we're getting the information we need. So these people who are 41Cs.
These are not the mean tested. These are not the
Yeah.
means tested exemptions. This is
None of
something
them?
else.
No.
None
The
of them are. Yeah.
122s aren't?
No.
22 is of
No.
veterans.
Oh, right.
We
And then
did-
what's 41?
41 is for seniors, low-income seniors. It's
Oh,
statutory.
that's right. And I
It's a
got
different
that
one.
confused with means testing. I thought that was the same thing. It's
Yeah,
not.
means tested is our own local thing.
So I have to remind me, 41C and D, it's an income level requirement.
Yes.
Income,
And-
income and asset, and asset.
And asset, right.
And
then,
the asset is low. The asset is like below 50,000.
Mhm.
okay. And then MGL 37A, I don't know what that is. And I looked it up in my handbook and I
Blindness.
couldn't find it. I did look up the other two and
Leslie, it's blindness, is it not?
That's correct.
Oh,
It's
good.
blind,
Got
yeah.
it. Very
Okay.
good. Yeah, it's not.
I asked her this afternoon, that's why I know.
All right. Coming clean.
But I know it's impressive. I understand that. Okay. Okay, so just, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at it. Okay, so Leslie, the Gene Perkins, what's the code for that?
Is there any, George, could you share your screen?
Yes, I can do that.
That might make this easier.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because my computer here is just not easy.
Yeah.
It's designed for psychotherapy, not.
Let me get to my Zoom here because I was looking at it on my computer. Okay.
Got it. Okay. I'm good. I just looked at it. I have no questions. Okay.
Well, you know what? Why don't I share the screen as we go through these anyways?
Yeah, much easier.
Okay.
Let's make sure I'm at the right place. There we go. Okay, everybody see that?
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah.
So here's the first one.
Yep.
And then for some reason in the second and the third.
Okay.
This
That's
is the one Howard's looking for, though. This is the exemptions that,
This is the
Are-
personal exemptions.
yeah, that are ready for your approval tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any questions or comments about these exemptions? Okay.
No, they seem pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. I move that we approve these exemptions.
I'll second that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I vote aye.
Urban side.
And Stein, I.
Okay. Motion passes. Now we're going to approve the accountant reports. Okay.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the 3 accountant reports.
I'll second.
Okay. I vote aye.
Urban side.
And Stein, I.
Okay, so the motion passes. The accountant reports are approved. The next item on the agenda is real estate and personal property abatements.
Mhm.
The personal property abatement, everybody's got it. It's the one from, So it's the app.
Clark Auto Wrecking.
Sorry, it's Clark Auto Wrecking on Pratt Corner
Right.
Road.
Oh,
reason-
yeah, that's this one here.
There it is. Thanks.
Right. So the reason they're asking for an abatement is because Clark Auto Wrecking has now incorporated, and as a corporation, they are exempt from property. As a corporation, they are exempt from property taxes. In general, corporations are exempt from property taxes. There are exceptions to that, mainly like telephone poles and lines and things like that. That's why utilities pay property taxes in this town.
Yeah,
So the abatement is for $513.50. Is there another document that's associated with this abatement or not?
I
Because
don't
something
think-
flashed on the screen a minute ago.
not this.
That's the next tier. That's the
That's
Yes,
the next Terra.
that's the
And this
sole-
one, what am I looking at now?
I
Oh,
don't know.
this is the next.
I don't know what this one is.
Oh, can I just say David's waiting for the host to let him in?
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's
Um,
knocking.
All right, hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm new at this host thing. All right.
Yeah, we know. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's obvious.
We noticed.
no, I'd like some cookies.
Okay, he's in.
All
Okay.
right. Hi, David.
Tell
Can you
him
hear me okay?
yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No
I was
worries.
sitting
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
sitting
Okay.
eating my supper and forgot all about you.
So this thing that I'm looking at right now, this looks like this is an accountant report or a commitment? Looks like
It's a
I
commitment.
can't tell.
This is a notice of commitment for the septic loan.
Look,
Oh, so this is something else. Okay,
that's
fine.
that's number 5 on the agenda.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
get
just
there.
going through the order that the documents popped up, so they're not necessarily in the same order as the agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
I tried, but.
Oh,
I-
that's okay, Leslie. It's fine. I can get around. You just let me know when I'm at the wrong spot or the right spot.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're in a good place right now.
Okay, so that's
I'm
fine.
glad to hear
So,
that.
okay, so this is the abatement to Pratt Auto Wrecking.
And it's
They're entitled,
personal property, not real estate.
right. They're entitled to this. They're a corporation. They don't have to pay it.
Yeah,
Um,
corporations pay tax on their property at the income tax level now. That's why.
But the question which maybe David can answer, or maybe you know, George, Howard and I were discussing today, how come Clark Auto Wrecking does not have to pay personal property, but the big utilities do, because they're incorporated also?
Yes, but
Right.
they're a special use group, and they're a completely different code. They're 504 and 505, and they've been exempted from the corporations, so their class is a utility unto themselves, not a corporation.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions about this abatement?
Nope.
Okay, I move that we approve this abatement.
Now second.
Okay, I vote aye.
Hi, Renetta side.
And Stein, aye.
Okay, the abatement is approved. So are there any, Leslie, it says real estate abatements. Are there any real estate abatements we have to deal with?
No, when I
Okay.
create agendas, I don't know what's coming ahead. I didn't know if we would receive any in the mail. And of course, I'm posting really early to make sure we get our slot until the Zoom stuff gets straightened out. But so far, we don't have any. Do you want to say anything more about it, David? Do you know anything more?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the septic loan commitment. I just found out what this is today, so maybe not everybody knows, but essentially loans were made to 4 households so that they could refurbish, whatever the word is, for their septic systems.
Yeah.
And so apparently the repayment of those loans, the mechanism for that is tax collection. Ellen sends out a bill. It's part of the real estate tax. And in order for Ellen to send out the bill, we have to send Ellen a commitment. And that's what this is doing here.
Okay.
I have one question.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Well, my one question is this the full year amount or is this a semi or quarterly commitment?
Do you want to answer, David, or do you want me to?
It's a full year commitment.
Okay, so for this year, it's 64.94.
Yep.
So I was under the impression these were interest-free. Obviously, they're not.
No.
It looks like a fairly high interest rate.
Correct.
Okay.
It's complex. Gail Weiss, our accountant, was explaining to me that in Pelham, the money was given outright to Pelham from the state, but in Shutesbury, we have, David, correct me if I'm wrong, that we have to collect the interest and we have to repay the state, is that?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, well, the answer to your question, April, is it's not the same everywhere.
Okay.
And we rely on our accountant, Gail Weiss, who is keeping a running ledger of this. We have a running ledger in here, and Gail and I reconcile each year. They only pay in the third and fourth quarters. I don't know exactly why that is, and maybe David can tell us that.
Because we don't do anything. The preliminary commitment is not based on any tax rates, it's only based on the previous year. It's based on the net taxes. So any liens and sewer liens and like betterments all get put in the third and fourth quarter as actual bills.
And this money is not our revenue. This is returned to the state?
Well, that's, yeah, I think that's why we have it as an expense item in the budget.
Right. But it's interesting. Yeah, it comes through the tax. Yeah, So it's
We
okay,
pay the state, but we collect the money from the property owner.
great.
Just out of curiosity, does anybody know, when somebody wants to get one of these, when a homeowner applies for it, does anyone know who they apply to? A state, is
Board
it
of
a state,
Would be the
Board of Health. It was a,
local, our Board of Health, right?
Yeah. it
And
was
then
a
they,
article that they had our town meeting approve in the early O's to help people who can't afford to just instantly come up with that, tens of thousands of dollars it
Right.
might cost to put in a septic system.
And it
and then the,
benefits
bo-
the
and
entire
then the,
community, Anyway, I'm sorry.
and then the Board of Health interfaces with some state agency to get the money, something like that?
No, they have a set amount that they can work with, and this is the part that we would need our accountant, Gail Weiss, to review, or one of us could go back into our town meeting minutes from the O's and find the vote, which I don't have access to right now.
Yeah, that's not necessary. I think we got the picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, okay. So any further questions or comments about this commitment?
No,
Okay, so I move that we approve the commitment.
Second,
Okay, I vote aye.
Robert, I say,
and Stein, aye.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is a warrant to collect additional taxes, additional pilot payments from NextEra Solar.
Okay, my only question on this, does this include the battery?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and is
Okay.
this in accordance with our agreement with them?
Yes, what it is when we send out the first 2 quarter bills, or when we send out the actual bill, it's based on an estimate of what the tax bill is going to be and what the amount of taxes they owe us, and it will never balance itself out. So this is always the makeup from what they owe us over and above what we billed them for in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Similar to our quarterly tax billing, where everybody's paying an estimate in the first 2.
Similar, yes.
okay, so this is nice to have.
I hesitated to send too many documents, but I will be glad to after the meeting. I have scanned in the schedule of payments for you, front and back. I'll just send them if you'd like to see, or I can scan the whole agreement, but
I don't need you to do the extra work. I understand how this works.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that there was an estimated amount, kind of like with the taxpayers, but that's fine. I'm fine with it. That makes sense, actually.
and thank you, David, for calculating this, because it's not easy to do these calculations.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
the revised valuation, did that come from Roy Bishop?
No, that came from me.
Came from you, okay. And did the valuation go up this
Mhm.
much? Did it go up this much in the
No,
last year? Is that,
okay? You've got this is done backwards, if you will.
okay, just,
What I-
yeah,
what I
whatever.
do- When I see the total amount of the tax that they have to raise, or the pilot calls for 93,000, I divide that by the current tax rates, and that
Okay,
gives me the value. And then I take the difference from what we've already billed them on and calculate the new tax.
okay.
Great.
So they're paying, the pilot agreement is for the same tax rate as everybody else is paying, right?
Yep.
Well,
So
they
why-
have their own
It's
agreement.
It's a set dollar amount.
It's a
Right.
set, yeah. Because pilots are not allowed to be outside the tax bills anymore, we have to do this every year.
Okay,
Before-
okay.
So
Oh, so I see what you're saying. The value, right. Most of the time, the valuation comes first and the tax is the
Right.
result. And in this case, it's backwards.
that's right.
Okay, got it. Right.
So
that's-
this is.
So just out of curiosity, if we did value the property, if we didn't have the pilot and we had to do a proper valuation of the property, do you know if it would be higher than this?
I really don't.
Okay, Could they possibly be overpaying?
Mhm.
They could be more.
I doubt
Could they
it.
possibly be
Oh,
underpaying?
Well, they're obviously, I mean, it'd be amazing if they're paying the exact right amount and that the
Yeah.
valuation just happened to be the exact
Well,
right number.
it's, it's the right amount based on negotiations
Right.
with the
Exactly.
town.
Right.
But this is an
Okay.
additional $15,000 we didn't expect
Yeah,
necessarily.
I understand.
That's not true.
Right.
Now you expect it. It's in
No,
that
that's,
20-year agreement.
Right.
it's the way
Okay.
we collect it. We're just not collecting it evenly across the
Okay.
year. But we're going to collect the amount in the contract.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Do we actually? Yeah, so we actually have to, this is a warrant. We actually have to approve this. I move that we approve the warrant to NextEra Energy.
I'll
Now
second this.
I'll second.
I vote aye.
Overnight aside.
And Stein, I.
Okay, the motion passes. The next thing on the agenda are 3 ABC updates. That's me, and I just have to report something, which is that a couple of months ago, we got an application from Allison Sweeney for a property tax exemption based on the idea that her farm, her goat farm, was a charity.
Or
We
not.
denied,
Right.
and we denied that exemption. And the reason for the denial is that in order for the goat farm to get an exemption, the goat farm actually has to own the property.
Yeah.
They do not. Allison owns the property. And that was the reason for denying the application.
Yep.
Allison came back to us a couple of weeks ago. She wanted to know if she leased the farm if she leased her property to the farm, could she then get the exemption? Okay. And I did some research and the answer is clearly no. The state issues guidelines for this thing. And they're, it's unequivocal. No, you cannot lease the property. You have to own the property. We haven't actually gotten back to her on it yet.
Okay.
But that's my report to you. Leslie, do you want to take care of that? Can you get in touch with her and just tell her about that?
I can. I would prefer, since you've been working with her, that you do it because I don't know all the different things you've talked about with her. I sent you her phone number and I'm glad to send it again. But if you prefer that I do it, I probably would wait until David's in the office so that if she had additional questions, I could have him help me.
I've never actually spoken to her.
Oh, I'm
I've
sorry.
I've never talked to her.
I thought you said that you had when you said you wanted to be the person to communicate with her. I'm glad to do it. I'll wait till David's in the office, or maybe David will do it himself.
I don't mind doing it all. I'll talk to her.
That's good. She has an extension on her Chapter 61A application to February 14th.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay. That's the same person?
that's the
Yeah, it
same.
is.
Yep.
David, do you want to do you want to stick to that deadline?
It was just arbitrary to give her the chance to get it done.
I know it's arbitrary, but you told her February 14th. What happens if February 14th passes and it's not in?
I told her I'd take her out of chapter 9.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
I told her I would take her out of chapter 9, then she'd be taxed on the full amount for FY26.
Okay, and you're going to do that on February. If it's not in on February 14th, that's actually going to happen.
Yep.
Okay, good to know. The next item on the agenda are the statutory personal exemptions. We've taken care of that already.
Mhm.
The item after that is the Chapter 61, 61A, and 61B applications and liens. Leslie, what is there?
At the moment, there are more things coming. I just can't get all the paperwork done to get them to you. But at the moment, we have just someone who's typically late getting his Chapter 61A application in. He got it in on Monday night and it's ready for approval. I believe it's no different than previous years. So one Chapter 61A.
Okay, who is it?
It's Ormsby is his last name. He runs a farm on Pelham Hill Road It's got a strange Gaelic name that I can't pronounce, but what number is it? I'll try to read it to you. Not 9. His name is, last name is Ormsby, and his signature is unintelligible. The paperwork that I have with me doesn't have it on it, but I have it in his file. It's the CHEILEAGUS MAORSEACHT Agroforestry Trust. And if you want
Okay.
to see the deed, it's book 6159, page 147. That's the deed book.
Okay. Any have any questions? Anybody have questions or concerns about that application?
No.
Okay, and it's a renewal. Okay.
Renewal.
I move that we approve it.
And I'll
I'll
second.
Okay, I vote aye.
Arbornet aside.
And Stein, aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is budget. David, do you have anything you wanted to tell us about that?
Oh, yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
Tell us about the budget.
It's about budgets. I was talking to Gail last week and I asked her how much money was put aside each time for, and my computer's going mad. I don't know why. Each year, how much money we had. Do you know we have $35,000 sitting for the revaluation?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, the rollover from year to year.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, it's exorbitant.
Sure.
That's good to hear.
Well, I mean, how much does a reval actually cost us?
Well, when I saw it, I called our friend, Mr. Bishop,
Mhm.
and he said for a regular full reval in 28, it would be $10,000.
Well, what did we spend in 23?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
Good,
So
thanks.
here it is right here. So the assessors, these are the assessors' expenses, and then where's the reval line that replenished it?
54,
Keep
oh,
going.
56.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, so we're budgeting, so we have lowered it. We've been all over the place.
Yeah, we have.
Budgeting $3,000 to be added to whatever that balance is.
But what's the actual expense? Does anybody know that?
It was
Um,
10,000? Is that?
Well, yeah, I can look that up too.
I was going to say, while you're looking it up, when we prepared for 23, we were required to do an external personal property audit, which is not going to show up in your figures. I think Kevin Rudden, I don't know where he got the funds. I can't remember. Maybe you would, George. And I know he used some of the reval money for something else too.
Well, I understand, I understand all that, but are we going to sit with this 35,000 and put another 3,000 under it each year?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, David.
Doesn't
I mean,
make
if
sense.
yeah, there it is, 35,061, and we're in the FY26 budget, have another 3,000 going into it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
And it'll cost us about 10,000 for maybe 12, maybe more or less for the
Well,
reval.
what I was going to say is, Bishop and I are not getting any younger. So if you had to go with another company, I would leave 20,000, but you could put the rest away.
Okay, you know this. I mean, you have a sense of what these things actually cost. You kind of know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
without actually. Okay.
Bishop and David are bargains.
so
Okay.
I think what probably needs to be done is the town administrator, possibly the town accountant need to be engaged. If we've got $35,000 in a fund and we don't need it, then we should lower that balance and move it to free cash, a
Yeah.
portion of it.
Right.
And probably we'll need a warrant article to do that.
Yep.
So I would say.
Well, I think we can.
Dave,
The last time. Okay, in June, at the end of the fiscal year, we moved money we moved money with a board vote or at least we were supposed to. We took a vote. We've moved money from the overlay account to free cash because there was,
Right.
Gail wanted us to do, that was $36,000 she wanted moved into free cash, and we did that.
Right.
Can we
Overlay
do
is
that?
ours,
What?
but I don't know that the budget that's been approved by the voters is something that we can, in this,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
we can.
Maybe that's true, Howard. I'm not sure that it is.
Well, the overlay account is also part of the budget, is it not?
Right.
Well,
and-
no,
and it-
no, that's revenue. That's us.
Yeah, it might be worth just running this by Gabe.
Yeah, I think Gabe is
Because
probably,
it sounds like about $15,000 could go into free cash, and if it's a warrant article, it's not gonna be well, you never know with our
well,
town.
and one other point. I would suggest actually taking it down to 17,000 and leaving the 3,000 in the operating budget, because we want to keep an amount in the operating budget every year. We
Yes.
want that placeholder in the budget.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
If it's, and if it's 10,000, if we thought it was 10,000, we're doing 3,000 a year, we're doing a reval every 5 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then we are certainly going to have plenty of money for inflation or any other increased costs. So,
Well, that's why David's saying 20.
No,
And it's probably, the 3,000 probably could date back to when we did them every 3 years.
Mhm.
But we could, 17 would be reasonable.
Okay,
Okay.
and we'll keep the 3,000 in the
and yeah,
budget.
and it'll
for
be
this
back
year.
up to 20 in July.
So
Okay,
who should
Okay.
talk with Gail and Gabe?
would be Gabe.
I'll reach out to Gabe.
To find
Thank
out, because if we can do it with a board vote, we can just do it at the next meeting.
I'll
I
see
don't-
what Gabe says. I think, yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
I don't think you can do it with a board vote.
I
Okay,
don't think
fine.
so. This is, we can't muck with the budget like that.
Okay, fine.
So
But it's
reducing it
nice to
from,
know, another $10,000 back to the
we're
kitty.
gonna need it.
We are gonna need it.
17,000 even. Okay, I'll see what she says and I'll send everybody a note.
We'll put it on the next agenda, perhaps.
Well,
February
if it needs to be.
Yep.
And it's possible that Gabe is just gonna do whatever needs to be done and maybe reach out to you. Yeah, it probably will be reach out to the Board of Assessors for any kind
Yeah.
of approval.
And we
Okay.
sponsor a warrant article.
Yeah, we'll see, Leslie. That's probably true.
Okay,
Okay, so does that take care of does that take care of the budget item on the agenda? Do we need to talk about anything else?
No, that was my item and that takes
Okay.
care of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. The next item on the agenda is the draft FY 2024 annual report. This did not come to us as a document, correct, Leslie? Or am I wrong?
It should be. I think George has it on the screen right now.
This was mailed to us? This
Email.
was part of, okay, I
Yep.
didn't, okay.
we're looking at it.
Okay, I should,
You took
Why do
a
you-
copy from the office here today, too.
yeah, I know, yeah, in fact, maybe I even am looking at it. Hang on.
Seems pretty straightforward.
I do, I have a hard copy of it right now. Okay.
It does. I didn't check the numbers. By habit, I like to check numbers, but I'm sure you.
I
Okay.
took the numbers from the gate for the chart. I took the numbers from LA4 Gateway.
Yeah, no, there's no question where you got them from. I'm just sometimes when there's this many numbers, it's easy to transpose numbers, so I always take a
Oh,
double check. But
and
I'm
I'm
sure
always
they're
grateful.
fine.
Well, you should not be. You should never. My brain is not young. And then the first
Neither is
paragraph,
mine.
yeah, just keeping the FY years straight too. When you're in FY 25, but you're doing the FY 24 report, which means that you're using the tax classification year from November 23. I have to concentrate and talk out loud. This in the first paragraph, I took that 68,309 out of the well, I found it in a gateway document and it corresponded with the tax classification hearing document. So I feel that's right, but
Well,
it says increase the maximum levy. So if anybody's smart enough to be able to find that and check that, that would be
well, I can pull them up on the screen. We can get both numbers and then just do the math. Right? I mean, you're talking about the second page of the recap has levy limit on it,
No, I
right?
couldn't find it in the recap. I found it in another document, and I also pulled it from the tax classification hearing document.
It's in the
But
left,
it was in a list of numbers, and it said new growth, so I,
For FY 24.
right, it'll be on the LA5 for FY 24. Or the
yeah.
levy limit document for FY 24.
I assume that's a publicly available one. LA5 for FY 24.
I
No,
might
l-
have it actually. Give me a second here.
And then while George is looking for it, the other thing was, this was the first year where there was two tax rates. So I kind of changed the wording a little bit by referring to the chart below, because it's no longer a simple math problem with one tax rate. It's two different rates for the different classes.
But George, I think you're pulling up FY 25. And
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's
we
talking
were looking for
24.
24.
Yeah, I could dig around, but it's probably, it's a waste. I'm not gonna waste our time.
Okay.
I do keep a lot of town stuff,
should.
but
You sure do.
I try to
think
stay
I
organized.
feel like I'm looking at an accountant's computer.
Yeah, well, this is what my career was.
I know, it's awesome.
You know,
Yeah,
it's really,
trying not to let go too much of it, trying to keep the brain going.
and the other thing, we were talking at the lunch today, the department had lunch about record retention and destruction, and Gabe
Hmm.
saying, we just need one copy of everything, but you never know what's gonna happen, and if worst came to worst, it's nice to know George has this on his home computer that.
Well,
Well,
I don't have that much. I just,
No, but you
when I
might
was
have
doing the
some-
approvals that we had to do for the tax recap, I just
we're gonna
downloaded
have to
those.
archive you, George, at some
Yeah,
point.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Okay. So that number is, we're pretty sure, but it's not a firm hard number, the 68,309.
right.
Okay,
I can check that easy enough.
okay,
okay,
I'll
that sounds
put it
great.
in your inbox with a green clip.
Okay.
okay.
So do
Everything-
we want to hold off on approving this until we confirm that number?
Or maybe, could we
Contingent
approve
on,
it?
contingent on David checking it and just correcting it.
Thank
I'm
you.
fine with approving.
I would vote for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so,
The only suggestion I had in looking at this was the tax rate 1783, and we talk about how we calculate it, which is great, Leslie. I think that's really important for people to know.
It is, and it was always in there, but what I'm saying is, because all of a sudden 24, we've got two different rates.
Yeah,
It's that paragraph is a little more confusing. It used to be so straightforward, just here's the levy, we divide it, and then we come up with the multiply by
Right.
1,000, you got it, so.
Well, so that wasn't my question, but that was something I was wondering about too. But back to my question, just my point, and then it says, and we multiply it by 1,000. I wonder if we should have like a footnote or in brackets say actual rate of taxation is 0.01783, or or tax rate is relative or based on $1,000 per $1,000 of valuation. We don't really state that. And so, you know what I mean?
It's stated in the paragraph above, but I
Well,
welcome any edits.
oh yeah,
that-
you're right. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I missed that. You're right. When I was reading this third paragraph, that's when the thought popped in my head. Perfect. Yeah, how about a footnote about an additional 2 cents is added to the residential rate for the mean
Is- Isn't that in that same paragraph?
oh, is it?
Means tested senior, the different rates reflect the first year implementations of the means tested senior citizens property tax exemption. I mean, doesn't that say,
Perfect. Perfect.
well, it's not especially clear if you don't already know what it means.
none of this is.
I mean, maybe you want to be more specific and say the additional 2 cents on the residential tax rate.
Oh, yes. As reflected in, maybe say, it's sort of in that sentence, that the rate is, different rates. I lost my thought.
No, I like George's idea of going with somehow specifying the extra 2 cents.
In the residential
The
rate.
different
Yeah,
rates,
the residential rate is
of-
2 cents higher than the others.
yeah, the
to-
different rates of, yes, the 2 cents in, yeah.
So instead of the
Yeah.
different rates, I should write the additional 2 cents on the residential tax rate reflects the implementation, remove that first year, the implementation of the means tested senior citizen property tax
Perfect.
exemption.
That's perfect.
Yes. I like that.
Because it is, as long as I've been here, we've never had 2 different tax rates.
Right.
Right,
No.
in a lot of towns, right, even we do it, we have to go to the select board and talk about a split rate, and we don't want people to think that we have a split rate.
No.
Exactly. It's very confusing.
So it's essentially those of us who don't get this exemption are paying an additional 2 cents per thousand in order to fund it.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, everybody is, including the people who get the exemption.
Really?
The rate is across the board. They're getting the benefit of it. But the tax rate is universal. The residential tax rate is universal.
You get that, Abe? You follow that?
Yeah, I think I do. I think I
Right.
do.
In other words, the people who get the people who are actually benefiting from the
That's right.
MTR
They
rate,
get a rebate.
No,
so to speak,
what's
yeah,
happening is that the $17.83 tax rate is reflective of the exempted amount of valuation that the people who get the tax credit gets. So the residential class is the only one that will go up. And because we're reducing the amount of value in that class, we're raising the tax rate slightly. And the people benefit because they're getting a lower tax, a lower valuation, whereas you guys are all paying the same valuation, but at 1783 instead of 1781.
Right.
So
And then you just raise it, you just lower it artificially for the tax bills, and then you immediately raise it back up to the correct valuation. Is that
Right.
right, David?
yeah, for the next year, yes.
Yeah, and then we'll vote on it again, because that will change.
All right.
People, recipients have a hard time understanding because they're used to seeing a straight 41C, $1,000, and they call with, there's a lot of administration that goes into this means tested. It's added a lot of time to clerical work, let me tell you.
Can I
And
just
Sorry to hear that.
ask why the commercial, industrial, and personal property taxes are also the 1781? So these funds are only collected on residential,
Correct.
straight up, okay.
that's in the
And the others-
bylaw. That's in the
Okay,
bylaw.
okay, I get it, yeah.
Okay,
94% of our taxpayers pay for it.
Yep,
yeah.
94.2814%.
Exactly.
but who's
To
counting?
be exact.
The 0.14.
The only other thing I had was, a comma and that paragraph below the table on the 6,905.
Wait a minute, wait, which paragraph?
The one below the table, motor
fiscal-
vehicle 16,596, the real estate 6,000 comma 905.66.
No,
Oh, thank you very
Yeah, no, I
much.
just want, it's a public
Yeah.
report.
that's right.
Thank you.
It's an edit.
I was taught in high school that it's grammatically okay if you have 4 numbers in a row not to put it in the comma.
Well, that's news to me, but that's
Okay.
interesting. That makes sense. I'm just
Okay.
wanted to be consistent with the rest of the document.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's fine. I just wanted to,
That's why you laughed.
yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to share that with people. That's all.
That's
Just
right. Well, it's like
broaden
like
people's
the-
horizons, like
it's
That's
like-
why I volunteer on these, so I can learn this stuff. Sorry,
possibly,
April.
you possibly look at the world in a different way.
But
Okay.
it's also
Um,
like the Oxford comma, which is the comma that
Yes.
can become before the and.
I was thinking the
Right,
same
right, right.
thing,
Right.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
always.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. So if there is no further discussion of the annual report, I move that we accept it contingent upon David's confirming the correct number for the new growth.
And I'll
With
second.
2 edits.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, I vote aye.
Arnaz, aye.
And Stein, aye.
Okay, the motion passes. The annual report is approved.
Yeah.
Topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Anything?
Well, there was the report about the department head meeting, which we've already set a time of 3 p.m. on Tuesday, the 21st with Gabe to go over the Zoom. The other parts of the meeting was Gabe wanted to make sure that all departments got capital budgets in. I had previously asked David if he knew of any capital items for us, and he did not. We weren't even going to talk about it, but Gabe asked us. So anybody want to add any capital items?
You mean the assessor's car?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Well, see, we laugh about that, but it does occur to me, and maybe even more so to me than David realizes, because I've made a list of all these houses in our vision where the pictures are outdated, and one house that's so new it doesn't even have a picture. And I've been wanting to stop and take one, and yet I feel really awkward about it.
Yes.
And I just wondered if I researched the cost at Staples, how much a magnetic auto sign might be for the outside. And that would be it would be a permanent addition to this office that
Actually,
would go on any car.
I don't think that's
Because
a necessary capital purchase, but
no, it's not capital. I'm just saying I'd like to do that in operating if we have enough money at the end of the year.
I
If
think
there's
that's
I
no
think you will
objection.
this year, Leslie,
Yeah.
because of that 3,700 that we budgeted in operating expenses. You're gonna have excess for sure.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
so too,
well-
yes. Yeah, I would just go ahead and get them, Leslie.
You
Yeah.
think it's a
do
good
it.
idea? No one minds? Okay, so there's that.
That's
No
a good
capital.
idea.
The other thing is we could get a drone.
Just speaking for myself, I have no compunctions at all about parking in front of somebody's house and taking a picture. I mean,
Well, I'll give you the camera and you can go around and take the pictures if you'd
Just wear
like.
a bulletproof
well, I
vest.
didn't say that. I just said I don't mind taking I don't mind doing it without the sign. I didn't say
I
I
do
didn't mind
think-
doing it at all.
Didn't our previous assessor, wasn't he using a drone at times?
He wanted to, but it was,
It was
Firmly
mixed.
to-
Okay.
yeah,
But he did actually once, he once discovered that a house had been built without any permitting whatsoever,
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I know where
over-
that is, out in
yeah.
the woods.
the Zapco house, and which I
Yeah.
believe still stands, and we've just basically forgotten about the whole thing. Is that
Last
basically the
I
deal?
heard that was in land court. I don't know. It
That's
is
what I heard.
outstanding.
And I
It
think
is.
I heard it from Kevin, which is just
Yeah.
like quite a long time ago.
Is
Um,
it connected to the infrastructure, the utilities and,
Nothing. It has nothing. It's right next to John Puffer's cabin.
oh, okay.
It's up in that area.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Does
built
it not have
without
it?
any
It has no
permitting.
power? It has no
Okay.
electricity?
it
And
has no,
septic.
and it doesn't conform with zoning, so it was a zoning issue. Kevin went out with me as his witness, as he should, to put some value on it because it's there and we're all
Mhm.
paying on our houses, so rightfully he should be paying too.
Hmm.
The part was there was a no trespassing sign. That was the challenging part.
Right. So that's never been billed?
No, I
Oh,
think
it
it has.
No,
been
billed
billed.
for taxes. It is being taxed.
I believe so. Yes,
Okay,
no?
good.
I
Okay.
think
It
so. I'm not
was.
positive.
I think we'd have to check to see if it still is, but it
Yeah.
was at the time of this incident.
I wonder what the address is.
It doesn't have one. Does
Okay.
the buffer one have one?
No, but that, I think that, as I understood, that was permitted many years ago. And it was that's how I understood that.
Which house, the Puffer house or the Zapco house?
John Puffer's house.
Okay, sorry.
That
I don't think
it
it
was
was
a
ever
camp,
permitted.
probably not. There's urban, I guess this is rural myth.
There's
Okay.
a third property on Mount Mineral Road in the middle of the woods that also has a no trespassing sign on it. Takes 45 minutes to walk out there.
Is it still there?
Are you talking about Montague Road,
I'm,
Zapco, or
I'm talking about where New Boston Road runs into,
oh, you know that place?
well,
Yeah.
last time I was there, there's no house on it anymore. Last year I was out there, did a hike. But I might be thinking of a different one. There used to be where the two roads come together,
Yeah.
Boston Road and Mineral
Yeah,
Road,
but you
right?
can't see it from the convergence of the
Right.
roads. You have to
We
trespass.
walked into the wood. Well, maybe I'm thinking of a different place.
Yeah, you and we could all go out for a walk someday. I think it's still there.
Yeah, it's a nice area. I love going back
Oh, I
there.
love it out there.
Yeah.
Where is this? Roughly.
New Boston Road. Let's see, you've got Jennison Road, New Boston Road, and Mount Mineral Road converge.
What part of town? I've never heard of any of them.
Northeast corner
Northeast,
That's
so
cool.
near 202?
near
Yeah.
the Wendell line, closer to Lake Wyola,
North or south of Lake Wyola?
east.
East. It's
East,
east.
East of Lake Jennison Road. Do you know Jennison Road?
I do not. I know we're
Well,
short.
if you were driving by Lake Wyola, heading
Okay.
east towards Wendell, you take a left to go to Wendell,
Yeah, sure.
go straight.
That's
Dirt
Okay.
road right in front
Oh,
of you.
Jenna, J is a J.
Yeah, Jennison
Genesee
Road.
with a J. Got it. Now I know
Yeah.
what that is. Okay.
And then you go down that, and then there's going to be the right to go to Timonos. And that's, if you follow
Okay,
that for about 2 miles, it comes to New Boston Road.
Yeah.
And at that corner, right, Leslie, up in the woods at that corner is the house.
It's a little back from the corner.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I was in the wrong spot. There's a
I think you
foundation there.
were.
I'd
Yeah.
love to, I want to go, I'd love to go find it.
I wish there was snow. I'd take my skis and go tomorrow. I
No,
know.
and
Let's
then
not
they
go there.
the no trespassing sign.
Well,
is-
yeah, I guess. Marty and I were hiking and we went up there and there's a foundation. I was looking for the house and there's a foundation,
Oh,
not for
yeah,
this
there's a
reason.
foundation, but that's not the right
Yeah,
location.
that's not the one. Okay. All right.
It's a camp and it's way back in the woods and it's got a nice large shed and
Hmm.
whoever said there is no power or sanitary services that I'm aware of, but
So
there's definitely real estate back there.
now is real estate is the owner of the real estate the owner of the property that it is on?
Yes,
So then we know the name and the deed.
yes, we do.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely be assessing them.
I think it is being assessed because somebody, and I won't say who, went out with her camera and took some pictures, trespassed and notified a retired assessor that it was there and showed him the pictures.
Can you confirm that it's being taxed?
I can, but I'm not over in Vision. I'm on the laptop right now because
Oh, I'm not asking you to do it now. I just think we should
Yeah.
just make sure, double check if you would please. Like we said earlier about the other property, we don't want property not to be taxed.
Mm.
It's not fair to the people that pay taxes.
yes, the problem is we know what we ran into when there was trespassing involved.
Yes.
So I think that the retired assessor before Kevin has it. I can look,
Ken?
put it on, and so therefore it would still be there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as any of it, yeah, it's just those 3 properties.
And another time I went out with Diane Jacoby when she was on the board. We often walk on the weekends, and I said, how about if we, and lo and behold, the Jeep pulled out of the vehicle pulled out of the driveway just as we're getting there. We didn't trespass.
The gate was
They were
open?
there that weekend.
They drive all the way down that road?
Yep,
So the
Got a
gate was
key.
open? Is there not a
They
gate
have
down by
a key.
Temenos?
they have a key for whatever reason.
Oh, got it. Yeah, okay.
I love small towns.
Could
It's like,
write a book.
yes,
Nothing to do with this. Yeah, I was going to say, this is more to do with state. It's surrounded by DCR property.
Well, because,
That's
right,
right.
and because they're deeded, they probably were able to get a key from DCR.
yep.
Yeah,
Because Zabco has a key, Puffer has a key to the gate up off of Montague Road.
oh yeah,
Yep.
maybe they'd let us borrow it.
Well, actually, I think, what's his name? Kellogg, Bud Kellogg and Jeremy are up there logging a lot. Anyway,
So
Yeah,
this house that I keep calling the Zapco house, is that the right name?
yes,
Okay, and you say it has no electricity.
nothing, no well, no electricity, no septic, nothing.
Is anybody living there?
Not that I can tell.
I've never seen anybody in it. It's always empty when I go by it.
It's probably
You
just
go
a
by it a
camp.
lot?
They're
A couple
camps.
number of times a year, mountain bike and my
Okay.
skis.
it's a
Okay.
pretty nice camp though, David. It's pretty new. It was only built since 2020.
And I
Yeah.
can tell you, I
It's-
trespassed there many times during the year. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't seem to care.
Yeah, and why did they build it?
For camp.
But you mean like they it's like a big tent. They camp in the house, or
It's a log cabin.
so they just use it in the summer when they don't need utilities. They don't need anything.
They might use it in hunting season.
Yeah, I think it's more hunting. That's my guess.
Okay.
That's when those things are most commonly used.
Yeah. And if you walk up the back way, you don't see the no trespassing.
Okay, I'll remember that
Do
trick.
you have a camera too, April?
Anyway,
Yeah, that was not in the 48-hour.
Okay. Yeah.
So we went, Howard and I went to the department head meeting. She hopes to have them quarterly or keep it going with the new town administrator. And it was very helpful to hear different people's opinions about different topics and share.
Snow shoveling was a hot topic. Not a joke.
No, I know. I had this conversation with the librarian and
Yeah, Marianne is not
Mary-
thrilled.
yeah, I know. She told me, it's like, Marianne, what are you doing out there salting the sidewalk? That's not your job. Did they resolve that?
Well, the
Well,
representative suggested she look into heating the sidewalks at the new place.
yeah, that was probably not going to
We'll
happen.
do that with our extra money.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. What's probably going to happen, or the most viable plan that I've heard, is to hire somebody through the highway, have the highway department post an additional position for like 19 hours a week, and that person can cut grass and shovel sidewalks.
Oh, interesting.
Because when somebody says shovel snide, that's a hard thing to do. When somebody says shovel sidewalks, the words that immediately pop into my head are buildings and grounds.
Mhm.
And that it should, there should be a buildings and grounds department or person or something that handles that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Hi, Dave.
It's not the
Sorry
department.
about that. I didn't realize it was off.
Oh,
it's nice to see you
okay.
and your thumb.
Just in time for us to adjourn.
Yeah. Okay. So, are there any further topics that we need to address?
Next meeting?
Next meeting is already, as I understand it, scheduled for February the 12th, because Leslie is going on her unpaid vacation
Yay.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
shortly after the 19th is very close to her unpaid vacation, and we don't want to get that
Wait a
close, as
minute,
I understand it.
The 12th
And-
is when the meeting is, February 12th.
Yes.
I will be gone as of the 17th.
Okay.
I
So,
am not broadcasting it. I know this is a public thing, but I'm trying to keep it close to my chest because when you leave your property for a long time, it's not a good idea.
Good point. Yep, that's fine. I'll be
Okay.
discreet.
And how, so, do you want us to check on it?
No, thank you. My daughter lives there, but
Okay,
and it's just better if I just, it's my vacation. I'm going, the
Okay.
town approved
but
it.
she'll be there the whole time,
Yeah,
more or less,
I
more or
really
less.
need-
She's not going away for days or something. Okay,
All right. So,
okay, so, since the next meeting is scheduled, if anybody have any objections if I adjourn the meeting now? Or if
No.
I'm sorry, if I move that we adjourn the
Mhm.
meeting.
I'll
I'll
second that.
second and third.
Okay, I vote aye.
Brennan side.
And Stein, aye.
Okay,
Good night.
thank you,
Good night.
thank you,
Good night,
everybody, and
everyone.
good night.
Stay warm.
Yep.
thank you, everyone.